It is a pleasure and a real honor to be here, and it is exciting that as universities we now fall under two for research and the other responsible for education. We feel really privileged to have this, and thank you, brother, for inviting me. Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology. I work in the Vice Chancellor's office, Chancellor, at Joe, at Joe, and direct impact on the community through the research that we do. We are very focused on security, we are focused on community health and well-being, we are very keen on cultural heritage and material science, and we've got all these things about data and data science and how it has an impact on how we live, how we
Chancellor, you? Yes, I'm very, very happy that we have this festival. And the first thing I told the peers is that this has come at the right time, because most of our research that we have been having have been supported by agencies USA, but they have pulled actually some of the money, and therefore we really need this national research fund like yesterday. So we are saying this is a very important time for us to show that even when we are not supported, we can actually support ourselves. So this is very, very important, and we are happy that it has come at this time. Thank you very much.
Yes, next is my namesake, Professor Ipara. Isaac Ipara is the VC of Kibabi.
Thank you, namesake Isaac Kibage. Isaac Iparodeo, Kibabe University. The first time I came to Egerton was 1969. I came here for the graduation of my uncle. And what I saw was paradise. It was real paradise. Imagine at that age, you're told you can eat as much ice cream as you can. Kibabe University is the youngest, among the youngest universities. We have 10 universities to release for research. These universities can do wonderful things. Thank you very much.
Well, I know the others are not called. I know that my juniors in another, maybe start by the most senior University of Science and Technology.
The CS representative, the Sheriff Corps, and all protocols. Good afternoon. I first of all contest But in a way, yes, he's been my mentor. I'll give you just a small story. I was somewhere and somebody was saying that there's nothing that Kenyan professors do when I put a boom share, including business. And then I asked him, do you have a degree? He said, yes, from Kenyatta University. And then I was wondering, he's a product of professors. And he's saying that. That's number one problem, isn't it? And two, there are so many things we have done that they have not seen. For example, between us, when I was one time in Kabete, there are many varieties of beans we have produced that everybody keeps on eating every day. The ugali you eat, you also contribute through Kenya Seed Company, isn't it? So what I'm saying is this, that people don't know our story. We are contributing to this nation. Number one, not only manpower, but also the economy in different ways. So when I heard this, I decided I'm coming to just be part of that. Secondly, I'm personally an agriculturist. Egerton is not new to me. When you go to Faculty of Agriculture, I've been an external examiner there for almost maybe 10 years before I decided to work in the office as a Vice Chancellor. Masinga Miro University of Science as a Vice Chancellor. Very blessed.
Next is the Vice Chancellor for Chuka. Chuka is a product, or it was mentored by Egerton. So I would like to call them our child.
Thank you, BC, Chuka. Thank you very much. I am here as a child who is challenging the father. So, I'm here as a researcher first, before I became a Vice Chancellor. And I continue writing research. Egerton, I am very happy, Mr. PS, because from when Kenya was conceived, the research now is that I want to guarantee you in the universities, if NRF can be able to get very good themes, the universities to collaborate together, we shall contribute to sustainable development of this country. We have been left only to be called dons that are complaining of salary increments. But we have unexploited potential, and Professor Abdulrazak exploited. So thank you. We came from the University of Nairobi. He was the principal, College of Health Service. That's why he said, you are the dean, and he was the principal. Thank you very much, and God bless you. My name is Professor Egerton Mutembei. I work in the office of the Vice Chancellor at Chuka University as the Vice Chancellor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Those of you know our PS, he was at DVC before he went into rarefied areas. So, Shokat, please feel at home. I know there are many others here who maybe have not recognized because it's very interesting. Not nearly all familiar. But I also need to acknowledge that indeed in this university, remember you are told it's the oldest institution of higher learning. You know, higher learning, it depends where you are. Higher learning. It's not KU which is saying it's the mightiest. It's not in Nairobi, it was actually Egerton in 1939. Whoever had learned something now came here for what? For being taught how to manage farms. And when I was growing up, anybody, an agriculturist, we knew he came from Egerton. Let me tell you, I was very shocked when I eventually landed in the University of Nairobi, and I was with in the halls with the students who are doing agriculture. And I was saying, what do you mean you are doing agriculture in the University of Nairobi? But that's a story for another day. Let me just move on. We shall find a place for our DG after I give my speech. So here at Egerton, we pride ourselves on generating knowledge across agriculture to education, engineering, and empower all our farmers, not just the youth, with research-backed practices, tools, and policies that enhance productivity and livelihood. You have heard the President talk about the biggest asset we have is what? It's our youth. So when we use them as an asset, you know what we mean. And we need to then empower them so that our country will lead moves forward. This first builds a bridge between innovators, researchers, and farmers. Whether you are a small holder, farmer cultivating maize, or a technologist creating soil testing kits, today is about collaboration and learning and interacting with each other. The youth are here, and rightly so, and they are mostly encouraged to explore agriculture as a path to economic empowerment. We have seasoned farmers here. We have entrepreneurs. We have sector leaders. And those of you who have walked through the booths this morning, you see the potential. Let us hope that that interaction does not just end what people like calling an academic exercise, but indeed it goes beyond. Together, as we are here, we form a robust network, sharing ideas, learning from one another, and co-creating solutions. Today, you will see research outputs on display, from beans to groundnuts with reduced aflatoxins, cassava and its value-added products, potatoes and the value chains. I was even surprised to see mandazi of potato, Irish potato. These are all technology-based innovations that are going on in various universities. And now you understand why I'm happy to give the fee. Every resources, because we need resources to move those products from the lab now, because this is the lab, to scale up and then to the market. And Piers, I know I told you that you need tea with the vice chancellors. So where you talk candidly, not a structured one where you stand and address us. Because if you stand and address us, we'll go back with our what? With our ideas. We talk. You have seen all kinds of products. And if you have not seen, please, you are welcome to come and see. I'm personally very impressed. They are funded externally. And there is this saying that whoever pays the piper calls what? The tune. in my life in research and what our government is not paying the piper. So it is not calling the tune. We'll find that in most cases we produce research outputs geared and funded by other agencies outside our government. I call it, we work as a spanner what? Spanner boys. Here in Egerton, just as an example, we have a cumulative research portfolio of about 2 billion with an annual recurrent budget of 700 million. This underscores the scale and the consistency of our commitment to advancing impactful research. But the funding, most of it is coming from outside. And I think that's what Professor Weneno was saying. One of the agencies which were really heavily funding have withdrawn for hopefully temporary, and institutions are suffering. And our government must step technologically advanced and scalable across Kenya and beyond. University supported NRF and our partners.
Not only to learn from the exhibition, but also to go around the university to learn more, because this university is well known for research and especially in academic excellency. I don't want to say I'm an alumni of Egerton, but I may be. So allow me to read the speech of Her Excellency. I was supposed to make my first comments because after the speech I will go directly to sit. So allow me to thank the National Research Fund and our premier agriculture research institution, that is Egerton University, for working closely with our county government to stage this very important festival. Equally, I acknowledge hundreds of our farmers, the final consumers of research findings, for creating time to attend this event. Today, as we gather at the historic Egerton University to launch the 2025 Kenya National Research Festival Week, I'm filled with optimism and pride. This is more than an event. Recovery and a reaffirmation of our shared commitment to harnessing knowledge for the greater good. This year's theme, Sustainable Agriculture and Food Security, empowering communities through research, science, technology and innovation, would not be more timely, more urgent, or more aligned with our national aspirations and the realities on the ground. In Nakuru, agriculture is not just an economic activity, it is a way of life. It feeds our families, sustains our livelihoods, and fuels our economy. But more importantly, it represents untapped potential. And to unlock that potential, we must do more than just farm. We must innovate, we must research, we must embrace science and technology as tools, not just for production, but for transformation. This week's festival offers us a unique opportunity to rethink, reimagine, and redesign the future of agriculture in Kenya. It is a space for researchers, policymakers, farmers, students, entrepreneurs, and communities to exchange knowledge, showcase technologies, and spark partnerships that can carry us forward. Ladies and gentlemen, at the heart of all progress, be it in health, education, climate resilience, or food systems, lies research. It is research that reveals new possibilities, drives innovation, supports evidence-based policy making, and provides the answers to some of our most urgent challenges, that is poverty, hunger, and the climate crisis. That is why in Nakuru, we are not just participants in research, we are champions of it. Allow me to briefly highlight some of the bold steps we are taking to align our development agenda with this year's theme, and more importantly, with the needs of our people. Boosting agricultural productivity. We have made significant investment to empower our farmers and expand high-value chains. We have distributed 34.5 million pyrethrum seedlings to over 11,000 farmers and 394,000 crafted avocado seedlings, benefiting more than 17,000 households. Vulnerable populations, including persons with disabilities, received 42 metric tons of maize seed, a lifeline for food and income. Our coffee revitalization efforts are underway, with over 20,000 seedlings already distributed in Kapasi. Moreover, our collaboration with the national government on the edible oil crops promotion project has been a standout success, with over 45 tons of sunflower seeds and 5 tons of canola seeds distributed to 13,000 farmers. Nakuru was proudly ranked the top performing county. This demonstrates not only the capacity of our farmers, but also their willingness to adapt, diversify, and lead, strengthening agricultural value chains. Post-harvest losses and limited market access are key bottlenecks. To reduce post-harvest losses, we have constructed and renovated 39 tea buying centers, ensuring better pricing and value addition. We have also established 14 fertilizer stores and distributed over 32,000 bags of fertilizer through a last mile approach. Further, we have supported over 100 registered agricultural cooperatives, all of which now benefit from our county cooperative development revolving fund, unlocking affordable credit for growth, transforming livestock farming. Our livestock sector is thriving. In 2024, Nakuru produces 318 million liters of milk from nearly 500,000 dairy cattle, translating to 13.9 billion Kenya shillings in value. We have constructed 10 milk cooling plants, 8 of which are now operational, expanding the blue economy. Our natural resources, especially Lake Naivasha, are central to our emerging blue economy strategy. We have stocked 200,000 fingerlings in lakes, dams, and ponds, invested in sport fishing, boat riding, and auxiliary industries like boat building and net manufacturing, creating jobs while conserving ecosystems. Knowledge transfer and extension services. None of this would be possible without extension services. We have brought partners with national programs such as NAFCDB, ASDSP, HELCOP, and the Edible Oil Promotion Project, all designed to bring research to the farm gate, build capacity, and promote sustainable practices. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I must point out that these achievements are not just numbers on page. They are stories of transformation. They represent the hard work of our farmers, the resilience of our communities, and the promise of what we can achieve when research, policy, and community empowerment come together. Let us not waste the opportunity that this week presents. Let us share knowledge, Let us build partnerships. Let us harness immense power of science and innovation, not for prestige, but for people, for communities, for our future. And as we say here in Nakuru, karibuni sana. Thank you, Her Excellency Susan Vihiga, EGH, Governor Nakuru County. Asante.
Thank you, Deputy Governor. We all know about food security and nutrition. Food security and nutrition. Then I was reading yesterday about the expected boom of income as we turn not lift to grow coffee. And I know we have seen Kiambu turn from growing coffee into growing houses. When I used to pass through Nakuru on the way to Nairobi, we used to see expansive land with wheat. It has been reduced into what? Really, as a country, we are simply walking like we are blindfolded towards what? There will be no food for you to have nutrition. So NRF is here. It's very nice, Madam. You are the Agriculture Secretary. We need policies for the future. Otherwise, Kenya will not have what? And there will be no food. And as a pharmacist, I can tell you, you don't have food. You are a sick what? Sick person. So, okay. Don't feel bad. Those are really facts we need to hear. So it's now my honor to invite our Permanent Secretary, Professor Shaukat Abdurasaq, to, I think, take the next process. Yes.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor, Egerton University, Professor Isaac Kibwage. Hamujambo. Good afternoon. I have some remarks that I would like to make, but before I do my remarks, let me recognize the presence of all representatives of the principal secretaries who are here. If you could maybe just raise your hands, the representative of the PSs. Thank you very much. We have quite a number in the room. Also being accompanied by my colleague PS Idris Dokota, who is in charge of cabinet affairs. So, PS, I will ask you to come forward so that you can make some brief remarks before I take the stage and make my remarks, and then I invite our chief guest today. Thank you very much. Yes.
Good afternoon. I know it's lunchtime. Sugar levels are going down. I will be very brief as well. My name is Dr. Idris Dokota, PS State Department for Cabinet Affairs. We are domiciled under the Office of the Deputy President, in charge of Cabinet Affairs. Representative of CS Agriculture, my colleague PS Professor Abdurrazak Shaukat, host VC Egerton University, and other VCs are present. CEO, National Research Fund, all protocols observed. There's the DG, Nakuru County, our security team. Allow me to ride on the established protocols so that I can go straight to the remarks. And on top of that, I'm also an academician, so I'm part of you. Only that I haven't taught at Egerton University. Prof is pushing me, tells me once my term ends, I should come and teach economics here. I told him, I'm an economist by profession, and I'll come to this school and set up the School of International Trade, because I'm a trade economist. So, that is on a light note. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor and privilege to be here today as one of the guests at this important 2025 Research Festival on Sustainable Agriculture and Food Security. Held under the timely and powerful theme, empowering communities through research, science, technology, and innovation. Let me begin by expressing my deepest appreciation to the organizers for convening this vital forum that brings together stakeholders from across disciplines, institutions, and borders, all dedicated to the shared undertaking of ensuring sustainable, equitable, and resilient food systems for our communities and our planet. Ladies and gentlemen, globally over 700 million people still suffer from hunger, precipitated the effects of climate change, conflict, and inequality that have increasingly threatened global food supply chains. This is no exception to our mother Kenya. The importance of this research festival cannot be overstated. Stakes are high and the urgency is real. However, the unwavering spirit of innovation the theme of this conference will not be more befitting, because it is core sustainable agriculture is not timely about decreasing yields or preserving biodiversity. It is about the people. It is about building systems that empower farmers, particularly smallholder farmers and women. System that will nurture youth participation. That is where the gap is at the moment. In agriculture, we had a challenge, and I remember attending one of the conferences in Germany in May this year, and one of the questions that we were asked is that in Kenya, there is a gap in terms of youth participation in agriculture. So what are we doing about that as government? That question is posed. So it is a challenge now for us as participants and delegates to also come up with a solution to this problem. Science, research, innovation, and development, when effectively utilized, are tools of societal information, thematically, climate smart agriculture, genetic improvements, resilient crops, sustainable farming practices, and community-driven agroecological practices echo panacea to better future for our citizens. These elements, anchored on policies, will make Kenya a global player in food. Constitutes over 80% of our Kenya's landmass. This is untapped potential. The country's 80% of the landmass is unutilized. As the PS for Community Affairs, we hold the support agricultural development and productivity, and as such, the State Department, it will be reliable partner in this area. So, and the seriousness the government has shown here is that the government has committed and created a State Department dedicated for science and research. This is a blank check that has been given to us. So let us make use of this State Department by actually utilizing what has been allocated for. Ladies and gentlemen, cascading the output of research and innovation remains the biggest impeding factor of agricultural transformation in our country. As such, our vital customers, which are farmers, must enjoy the benefits of research, science, innovation, and development, especially in the agricultural production. Agriculture, being a devolved function, places counties at the center of agricultural production in our country. And as such, counties should endeavor to translate into action output of this research for the betterment of our society by enhancing partnerships between researchers, policymakers, communities, and private sector actors. Last week, we were at the Revolution Conference 2025, where agricultural innovation was showcased. It was actually showcased immensely. It is therefore my call to all players to look deeper and develop a model that can increase efficiency and effectiveness of reach, such as county-specific evolution conferences, agriculture, research, innovation, county fairs and exhibitions. This way, we can create knowledge that's both scientifically robust and socially relevant and citizen-centric. The doctrine of leaving no one behind, spearheaded by the UN, as the central transformative promise of 2030 agenda for sustainable development and sustainable development goals, if adopted in research, science, and innovation, prevents an equal opportunity for growth and development for the country in general. And therefore, we must recognize that food security is not just about production. Anchored in the thematic principles of these 2025 Kenya National Research Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference is a step in the right direction by sharing findings, challenging assumptions, and fostering dialogue. This forum will contribute to a more just and food secure country. I urge I urge you all to take the conversations and breakthroughs from this gathering back to our institutions and communities to turn them into policies, practices, and partnerships that make tangible difference. Ladies and gentlemen, agricultural participation age bracket echoes that the average age of farmers in Kenya is 60 years old. These statistics highlights significant challenge as the youth make up large portion of the population, as such efforts should be made to encourage young people to engage in agriculture and agribusiness. To our young researchers and students in attendance, you are the future. The future is now. Tomorrow's agricultural revolutions. Food is not only a commodity, it is a right, a culture, and a future. By empowering, let us sow seeds of sustainability, water them with knowledge, and harvest the cake. Therefore, let us invest in research. Let us believe in science, and let us enhance technology to prosperity. Thank you once again for the invitation and for your unwavering dedication to these insights and strengthen cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This. I will now go to my remarks. Professor, it's always nice to be back home. Isaac Wage, and thank you for welcoming me back home. When I got back from Vienna, I found that my colleagues, the NRF CEO, had already prepared this festival. So I asked where is going to be the venue, and he mentioned to me that it's going to be in Egerton University. And then he said, look, but we can change the venue if you want. For, of course, obvious reasons, I feel this would be a great opportunity for me to come back home. I say keep it there. And I think from what I saw in the preparation, I have no regret. But let me also recognize the presence. My colleagues who are representing the PSs have already been mentioned in terms of their State Department. We have our chief guest that I'm going to introduce later, the DG for the County of Nakuru, Minister in charge of Agriculture. We have quite a number of Vice Chancellors present here, various CEOs of research institutions, of course, the CEO of Nakosti and Kenya as well, and we have quite a number of partners, donors, and well-wishers, students as well. It is a profound honor to address the National Research Fund Research Festival under the theme Sustainable Agriculture and Food Security. Research with impact, community empowered. This theme captures Kenya moment. We must turn excellent science into everyday solution on farms, in markets, and in households so that food is affordable, farming is profitable, and our economy is globally competitive. And I want to underline that. We must be globally competitive. My colleague PS Idris mentioned and gave some few figures. And we know very well that this is a sector, agriculture, that contributes almost 40% of the population in terms of labor. And when you go to the rural, it's actually more than 70%. Yet is the same sector that we are facing a lot of challenges, especially due to the fact that 80% of this country is classified as asiles, arid and semi-arid areas. So definitely you see a niche of science, research, and innovation in addressing these challenges. When a farmer in Makueni gets drought-tolerant seed and a simple soil testing recommendation and her yields double without increasing cost, that is research with impact. When a youth in Vihiga, mobile advisory, solar cold chain, a ready off-taker to cut post-harvest losses by, that is science improving livelihoods and expert. And this is the message that I want to pass across. We must be able to socialization of science. We must be able to demystify the misconceptions that are there behind science and innovation. We must be able to touch the society and transform. And this is exactly what is coming from the bottom up transformative economic agenda of this country. One of the 5 pillars is actually on food security and agriculture. So today, I really want to focus on a subject of upscaling, or if you like, the commercialization. And there are many things that we can talk about, but because of time, I'm going to be very brief. Our vision is mission-driven, partnership-powered research system that delivers measurable gains in food security, incomes. We need to pursue these areas in different, we will continue working together and break the silos and build synergies. I would like to see more systemic approach where institutions can be able to come together. We would like to see how publications do not alone offer solution, but also results into various enterprises. The days when you publish or perish are gone. Now is the time of innovation and commercialization. We must be able to look at the publications that we do and ask ourselves, whatever papers we are publishing, what sort of impacts are bringing up as well. From siloed actors to one delivery table, we must be able to address from ad hoc to talent pipelines. And above all, we need to move out from grants only to blended finance. So I'm going to advocate for public-private partnership. We need to get the philanthropists outside there. We need to get partners and collaborators so that we can leverage on the little resources that the government is putting on the table, and in this case through the National Research Fund. We need to look at the cutting edge research. We should not be afraid of embracing the technology. We have the biotechnology. We have the genetic modified organism. We have the nanotechnology. We have nuclear science and technology that can be able to contribute of food safety, food security, and food sovereignty. And in addition, to ensure we can also be able to mention the nuclear science and technology. We know very well that we can be able to develop mutation, using mutation breeding, we can be able to develop varieties of crops that can withstand or needing to use a lot of water. The varieties that we can produce can be able to use less water, and we can be able to improve the nutritional value of this. We must be able to look at the entire system so that you blend between the crops and the livestock. You look at the soils and the agronomy. You look at the marketing, and you look at the sales as well, and the nutrition. And in that case, then you're addressing the entire poverty, and you're looking at food security as well. So this is something that I would like to see as we move forward. It is really unacceptable in this time that we keep on talking about post-harvest losses, and sometimes in something that we love most, maize, where post-harvest losses can go to a level of 30 to 40% with the technology that is available. For example, you can easily use the electron beam, or if you like the e-beam, and be able to ensure the mycotoxins, the aflatoxins, and post-harvest losses can be reduced using the technology. We must embrace this so that we can be able to move forward. But we will not be able to move forward if we don't build capacity. We must be able to produce graduates. We must be able to produce scientists that are looking at the challenges of the society. And this is where university, you play a pivotal role. This is the foundation of knowledge. This is where that you can be able to give us people who will be looking at the challenges of the society, will be able to address, if you like, the cutting edge research, the demand-driven research. Otherwise, it just becomes research for the sake of it. And we'll be able to publish, and our publications are going to gather dust in the shelf. And the farmers and the society will not be able to appreciate. And we are going to be tagged again, people of the ivory towers. We have to come down and partner with the county governments. We have to go down and work with the farmers. I was privileged that last week I visited Egerton here, and I was taken round, and I really want to urge each one of you, before you leave here during this week, just go to the field and see the excellent work that is going on there. But that is not enough. How do we transfer now that technology so that we can count numbers from 10 farmers to 100 farmers to 1,000 farmers to 1 million farmers to 50 million farmers, wherever is possible, so that we can bridge this gap of food insecurity in this country. It is very important that we look at governance and accountability. Even in research and agricultural research, we must be able to have ethics in our research, because there's a lot of things that are happening. When you go around, and we did this morning, you have a lot of products. And if there is no ethics in these products, then you can easily sell products that will have detrimental effect rather than positive effect. So I want to ask for governance and accountability. I want to ask for ethics as well as we continue doing research. I want to ask for partnership. To the research community, I want to urge you, please design with the user in mind, budget for demonstration and standard, and measure outcomes beyond the paper. To the county governments that are here, please co-invest in the mission that fit your agroecology. Bring farmers, cooperative, and local SMEs to the table. To the private sector, become the co-designers and early customers. Your procurement power is faster path from the pilot to scale. To our developing partners and philanthropists, help us de-risk, the verify, and scale so that every shilling of public research unlocks 5 in the private adoption. To our youth and women, innovators, this is your moment. Your ideas will shape how Kenya feeds itself and the region. Friends and colleagues, I'm very excited that I could be able to be, as my colleagues have said, we want to really appreciate His Excellency the President by of research, in charge of science and innovation on your behalf. I need to account for every minute. There's no monopoly of knowledge. I'm going to bank on you. I'm going to come to your ways and be able to ask for your support. The Vice Chancellor has requested that we have tea, and we are going to organize so that we bring all the Vice Chancellors together to the discussion and research. We started already with the Vice Chancellor Innovative Academy and the Framework in Innovation. And recently, we had a meeting in Serena. 25 Vice Chancellors participated, looking at that space of innovation within institutions of higher learning, so that we can be able to blend research and innovation and the transfer of technology. But other than the tea, Vice Chancellors, I want to offer coffee to all the CEOs of the research institutions in this country. I will also have that as well, so that after the tea with the VCs, I have coffee with the CEOs of the research institution. And then after that, I hope that will be black tea and black coffee. Then we can bring the camel's milk around the table, and then we blend you guys. You have to work together. We have to break the silos. There are too many silos. There are too many competitive sort of ideas outside there. We want to complement. We must build synergies so that we can be able to move forward. This morning, I was just whispering to some of the Vice Chancellors that I will be, after the tea, we will be looking at how you can identify some of your top-notch researchers, and I create think tanks in different clusters, from looking at agriculture, looking at health, looking at industrial application, water sector, and so on and so forth, so that you can be able to advise me, so that I can be able to advise our cabinet and His Excellency the President to propel the agenda of better for the social economic development of this country. And we cannot work in isolation. We have our own undertakings here, but we must be able to fit in the Agenda 2063 of the Africa Union. We must be able also to contribute immensely into the SDGs as well. So this is something that I would like to whisper to you. And then also something else that I would like to bring everybody. We are going to have Science, Technology, Innovation Week, so that we can bring all the players to showcase some of the good things that we've been able to do and express our challenges, our aspiration, and be able to resolve. Come to conclude my remarks. Food security is not just about avoiding hunger. It is about competitiveness. We align our science with the real world problems, empower communities with tools and skills, and back our innovators to commercialize solutions. Kenya will not only be food secure, we will be a food system festival, the point where we move from projects to missions, outputs to outcomes, and from good ideas to Kenya enterprises that employ our people and feed our nation. Asanteni sana, and God bless all of you. With these remarks, let me take this opportunity now. It's my humble duty to welcome the representative of the CS, Honorable Senator Kagwe, who is represented here by my sister, Phyllis Njane, to make those remarks. Thank you, Madam Njane, please. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Phyllis Njane from the Directorate of Agricultural Research and Innovation, State Department for Agriculture. I'm the Research and Innovation Secretary in the State Department. I am here to represent my CS and he passed his greetings to you. He would have wanted to be here, but because of the constituents of duty, he was not able to be here. But I'm here to read his speech. But before I do that, my career seeds were sown in this university, in the Department of Agricultural Economics. And therefore, I'm back home too. I'm proud to be here as an alumni twice in this university. As a research secretary, I have an extensive experience in the agriculture sector. And I would want to bring this to you, that our greatest potential is in the ASIL areas. We are at crossroad, climate change, we are subdividing our land. So the so-called 20% of high potential land in Kenya, I don't think we have it. And therefore, all research, all science, all technology should be focused on ASIL, because that's where we have our greatest potential, that's where we have a lot of land, and that's where we as Kenya, we can be able to utilize land and be able to actually achieve this food sovereignty we are talking about. And because I had come here to present my CS, please allow me just to read his keynote address. As it is written, I'll just read as so. Keynote address by Honorable Senator Mutahi Kagwe, Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock Development, during the official opening of the Kenya National Research Festival 2025, held at Egerton University on the 18th August 2025. PSS present, allow me to use the existing protocols that has already been established. And I'll go straight away to the keynote address, and it starts. I will say, he said good morning, but I'll say good afternoon, because it's already afternoon. It is a great honor to stand before you today, address the distinguished assembly at the second Kenya National Research Festival, a national gathering of scholars, scientists, innovators, and policy leaders united by a shared conviction that research is not a peripheral to development, but central to our national progress. Allow me to begin by conveying my sincere appreciation to the organizers of the festival, the National Research Fund, Egerton University, the County Government of Nakuru, and the many collaborating partners from ministries, departments, government agencies, research institutions, academia, and the private sector. Your dedication and meticulous preparation have made this national convening possible. In the same spirit, I commend all the participants drawn from academia, government development partners, and industry. Your presence makes this gathering not only an intellectual enriching, but also a national significance. Moreover, your unwavering commitment to advancing research, science, technology, and innovation over the years, particularly in the agricultural sector, for the public good is deeply appreciated. This festival is not mere celebration of knowledge. It is a strategic opportunity, a platform for reflection, for cross-sectional dialogue, and a space for the reaffirmation of our national commitment to research-driven future. In convening here, we take cognizance that the advancement of agriculture, food security, and rural livelihoods globally and in Kenya depends on sustained investment in science, innovation, institutional collaboration. Under the theme, sustainable agriculture, food security, empowering community through research, science, technology, and innovation. This festival cements our collective belief that Kenya's agricultural transformation must now and in the future be rooted in data, innovation, and inclusive growth. Importantly, the festival aligns with our national continental blueprints, the Sustainable Development Goals, the Africa's Agenda 2063, Kenya's Vision 2030, and the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. It reflects our national resolve as articulated in new documents that innovation must be grounded not only in our priorities, but also in the communities, on the farm, in the marketplace, and within the home. Kenya's historical and global leader in agriculture is not by chance. It is deliberate, sustained investments in applied science, evidence-based policy making, and strategic institutional foresight. From our early leadership in the tea, coffee, and pyrethrum, macadamia, floriculture, and livestock genetics, Kenya continues to demonstrate its deep capacity for action. This and disruptive technological change. Therefore, Kenya's next phase of agriculture transformation, our new frontier, must be driven by knowledge, fueled by. At the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, we regard research as a cornerstone of national transformation. Accordingly, indigenous crops and biofortified facilities. However, our legacy of research must now leverage technologies to evolve into a more coordinated system nationally. At the same time, to achieve the research infrastructure, including laboratories, data platforms, germplasm banks, and bioeconomic incubators, must be recognized and supported as strategic public. Then interdisciplinary research that span agriculture, environmental science, biotechnology, artificial intelligence, health, and the social science. Moreover, the ministry is committed to enhancing governance reforms that enable long-term impact-driven research systems that are transparent, collaborative, and inclusive. But we must go further. We must ensure that research outcomes tangible benefits for our farmers, producers, communities. The ministry finds it immense value in we are determined to ensure that researchers remain deeply connected to stakeholders. Community forums such as this, we emphasize that building a knowledge-driven agriculture future is not just an aspiration, it is a necessity. To get there, we must come together around a coherent, well-coordinated national research and innovation framework, one that is grounded on 5 interlocking pillars. The first pillar is sustainable and predictable research financing. Research must be recognized and treated as strategic national investment. This means securing consistent public funding, leveraging branded finance models, and fostering catalytic partnership with the private sector. Without stable financial support, our innovation efforts cannot take root at a scale or take the scale. The second pillar is deep integration between research and higher education. Our universities must move beyond theory, become active drivers of innovations. They must connect research to practice, bridging the gap between knowledge and real world agriculture challenges across our farming systems and value chains. The third pillar calls for local informed, yet nationally aligned research agendas. County governments have a critical role to play in identifying and driving research priorities that reflect local realities. But this must happen with a shared national vision, ensuring that our efforts are coherent, relevant to our people, and equitably distributed across regions. The fourth pillar is to support for innovation ecosystems and effective management of intellectual properties. We must create an enabling environment where local technologies are not only developed, but they are also protected and commercialized. This gives innovators the confidence to invest their ideas and attract much needed private capitals into innovation landscape. And finally, the fifth pillar is evidence-based policy making. At an early stage, at every stage, design, budgeting, implementation, monitoring, and revision, our policies must be informed by rigorous scientific research. Only then can we ensure that our decisions are not just well-intentioned, but effective and impactful. These are not theoretical notions, abstract concepts or ideas that I know many of us, the academicians, appreciate. They are practical, actionable imperatives. If we commit to and pursue them with urgency, we can build a resilient, inclusive, and science-led agriculture future, one that secures food, livelihoods, and opportunities for generations to come. Summing, I would like to call upon the youth in our schools, universities, and communities. Let us enhance science, technology, and innovation to make agriculture cool, profitable, and sustainable. Together, we can feed our nation, create jobs, and build a future where no Kenya goes hungry. The fields are calling. The future is yours. Let's cultivate it together. Distinguished participant, as we celebrate research in this pictured part of Nakuru County, let us ensure that the second Kenya National Research Festival is remembered not merely as an annual event, but as a transformative milestone in our development story, where science, insight fuels policy and innovation and is grounded in purpose. As the Minister of Agriculture and Livestock Development, we regard this festival as more than a dialogue. It is a strategic platform where partnerships are forged, priorities are defined, and our collective resolve to embed research at the center of public policy is reaffirmed. Let us institutionalize long-term research financing as fundamental to national resilience. Empower county-driven innovations within coordinated national framework. Elevate universities as innovation hubs, bridging theory and practice. Strengthen linkages between research, commercialization, and smallholder realities, and embed evidence and data at every stage of the policy-making process. Kenya's agricultural renaissance cannot wait. It demands deliberate government coordination, robust private sector participation, active community engagement, and a national commitment that research is not a luxury, but a necessity. May this festival catalyze that commitment. May it inspire us to build Kenya where research is not optional, but fundamental, not symbolic, but transformational. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya National Research Festival. God bless Kenya. Thank you. Ends the keynote address for the Cabinet Secretary.
Let's appreciate the guests again. Professor Dixon Adala, take the stage. Thank you.
I have been told that I have not opened the festival. And I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Senator Kagwe, this Kenya National Research Festival 2025 officially opened.
Thank you, CS. I must appreciate each and one of you, more particularly our host, Vice Chancellor, for your patience, resilience, and astute leadership. Among key achievements that I must say, despite financial doldrums, you've now touched research grants at Egerton. Allow me also to appreciate our passionate PS. Lead the way and is ready to bring us together so that research and innovation ecosystem. Allow me to appreciate the CS representative for letting us know that collaboration and partnership is the only way forward. We need to bring on public-private partnerships for us to be able to transform the agricultural sector. I know you've been seated for quite a long time, and my suggestion is we close this session, but before we close, we are going to have a group photo, and then we shall have media engagement, just interviewing our PS and our CS representative. As the rest, after the photo session, we proceed for lunch. Then we converge here at exactly 2:30 for the two sessions which are combining because they are speaking to one and the same thing, so that we are here only for 1 hour, and then we will be free to go visit our demo farms. That's from 3:30, thereabout. But for the farmers, I'd like to probably, they do not need to come here if you feel like not to, but we've got the demo farms open for you. I'm quite certain that you are here for a reason, maybe to improve your productivity in your soils, maybe to control tick-borne diseases, and more others. So we'd like to, after lunch, please find your way to where these demo farms and exhibitions are so that we can be able to enjoy. Allow me to invite the Master of Ceremony to guide us to where lunch will be offered, and then where we'll be going to have our media engagement, that is the interviews, and of course the photo session. Thank you.
Let's appreciate Professor Adala. Thank you so much. Thank you all the speakers for that good session, and this is how we are going to go for our lunch. All our delegates and all our invited guests, the VIPs, we will be going to the ARC. Arrangements have been made for different eating areas, so please, from here, we go straight to the ARC hotel for our lunch. That's the VIPs and the delegates invited. All our farmers, the protocol team will lead you to the upper mess. The protocol team is around to guide all our farmers to the upper mess for our lunch. And then, as the CEO said, we meet here at 2:30 to resume the sessions. And as the CEO said, there's a photo session, and then we'll be able to proceed. The media engagement and the photo sessions will be taking place here, and Professor Dixon Adala would be guiding that process. Otherwise, the rest of us may need to, we can wait for this photo session so that we allow our guests to leave before we